I kind of knew that Dan from the latest season of The Traitors would be the one to dig his own grave. I made a video a while back basically saying that I think Dan is too real for The Traitors because he's being very honest about his selfish gameplay and how he's out for number one and out for himself, and he'll basically do what he has to do to put himself first. And yes, even though admittedly this is a selfish game, not everybody is going to win. Not everybody is going to get a cut of the winnings, even if the faithfuls win. But it's not a good move to declare that publicly. And what did he go and do? He went and declared himself selfish, that he's out for number one. He's going to do whatever he needs to do to advance his game at the round table of all places. Why would you do that, Dan? And then on top of that, he did that after he got caught out lying. And the way that Dan was lying about being the one who backstabbed Frankie in the challenge and backstabbed Mina in the challenge and then lied about it and then confessed after he was like, no, it's not me. Like, why are you suspecting me, getting all defensive about it? It just was not a good look. I feel like the majority of the people that voted for Dan knew that he was a faithful, but simply because he was playing a selfish game, they wanted him out, and they probably didn't like Dan, so they just voted him out. They acted all disappointed that he wasn't a traitor, but I honestly don't think that they cared. We've seen this time and time again. Sometimes, there's a faithful that rubs people the wrong way and people just vote them out because, like Dan said, it's a numbers game. Not everybody is going to make it to the end. Not every faithful is going to get a cut of the money. So, Dan, you had to go. Dan, you had to be the sacrifice. Ironically, Dan kept talking about how, because he's autistic, he uses logic instead of emotion, but he chose his stubbornness above his logic because logically you would know to keep that you are selfish to yourself in this game. Especially if you've watched the past seasons, you would know that that's not going to be a good move for your game. But he's a stubborn person, so, he just kept doubling down. He kept doubling down. He refused to read the room. And he lived by the sword and he died by the sword. But I got to hear from you guys. Was Dan just keeping it real, or do you feel like he played a bad game? Was he putting logic above emotion here? Let me know what you guys think.